Your budget is probably set up to fail. Here's why. If you're like most people struggling with personal finance, your budget might not be serving its purpose. Today, we'll explore why budgets fail and how you can fix yours. We'll cover three key points: the problem, the solution, and long-term success. Point 1. Understanding the problem. Why do most budgets fail? Surprisingly, it's not a lack of willpower or discipline. Instead, it's a lack of realistic planning. Research from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that nearly 60% of Americans regularly exceed their budgets. This isn't due to overspending on luxury, but often because of the unpredictable nature of everyday expenses. One common pitfall lies in the failure to account for those unexpected expenses, like a car repair or a medical bill. A study by Bankrate found that only 39% of Americans could cover an unexpected $1,000 expense with their savings. Imagine a budget that only works if everything goes perfectly. It's like planning a road trip without any detours. And then there's another trap: the over-reliance on strict, linear advice. Financial gurus often tout methods like the 50-30-20 rule without context. This rule suggests you spend 50% on needs, 30% on wants, and 20% on savings. But is this one-size-fits-all truly effective for your unique situation? If your needs consume 70% of your income, this advice is not just unhelpful, it's unrealistic. These misconceptions create a cycle of frustration. However, understanding the problem is the first step towards a tailored solution. Point 2. Another major reason why budgets fail is the gross underestimation of irregular expenses. These are the sneaky costs that don't make an appearance every month. They show up uninvited, like an overly enthusiastic relative during the holidays. Let's say you're budgeting a neat $200 monthly for car maintenance. It looks reasonable until that monstrous $1,000 repair bill lands in your lap. The error? Not accounting for the average of those heavy hits throughout the year. Instead, divide that annual $1,000 expense into a monthly sum. That's about $83 a month. Adjust your budget to absorb such irregularities without breaking a sweat. Point 3. The allure of instant gratification often derails financial plans. In a 2020 study, Americans spent an average of $276 monthly on impulse purchases. That's over $3,300 a year. Scaling back even a fraction of this spending can significantly affect your long-term savings goals. Imagine reducing impulse buys by just $50 a month. Over a year, this amounts to a $600 surplus, ready to grow through investments. Here's a pattern interrupt for you. Think of budgeting like dieting. Crash diets and crash budgets rarely last. They promise instant results, but often lead to binge spending later. And a balanced approach, allocating small indulgences within your budget, prevents the need to binge outside the plan. Like that rare vacation you tell yourself you don't deserve until it appears as a $2,000 budget buster. Now don't start counting calories or dollars yet. Realizing these pitfalls is half the battle. We bridge these insights into a solid plan next. We'll target the practical steps to transform your budget from brittle to strong, ready to turn intent into financial results. Follow me into the action. Point 4. Let's dive into a specific action plan to get your budget on the right track today. It starts with the 50-30-20 rule. Allocate 50% of your income to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings and debt repayment. If you're bringing in, say, $4,000 a month after taxes, that means $2,000 goes to essentials like housing, food, and transportation. $1,200 can be spent on dining out, entertainment, and personal shopping. Finally, $800 goes to savings or paying off debt. Begin with a 30-day trial. Track all expenses in those categories for 1 month. Use a simple spreadsheet or a budgeting app. The goal is not just to track, but to consciously allocate every dollar that comes in. Now you might worry, what if unexpected expenses blow my budget? That's valid, and it's why setting aside an emergency fund is crucial. Experts suggest 3 to 6 months' worth of expenses. It's a buffer against life's surprises. Remember our opening. Your budget is probably set up to fail. Here's why. It's because many budgets lack flexibility and realistic, actionable goals. By following this method, you integrate both structure and adaptability. Subscribe for more precise finance tips and strategies that align with your real-world lifestyle and financial aspirations. This approach can transform how you see and handle money, offering stability and growth.